Well, it's the last hunt of the year. We're down in Illinois with our good friend George Winslow from Bullseye Outfitters, and it took us a couple trips down to Illinois. I mean, thankfully it's not that far, but we went down kind of early, just before the rut. We were just a little bit early,
Yeah.
and then fortunately we were able to go back down in I think January or late
Yeah.
December.
No, it was January.
January,
yes.
yeah.
Just before it closed. So, yeah, it was, early season. Well, not early, but, that mid-season. And we were just a tad early. We were just starting to catch it as they were starting to open up some scrapes and stuff. But then, late season is great because they're back on those food sources. And so that's where we concentrated when we got back down there in the late season. And we kind of jumped back and forth. You'd hunt one night, then I'd hunt one night. And then, you'd hunt another night or two. And so we just kind of jump back and forth.
Well, we take turns. I mean, when we're on a hunt like that where we both have tags on a out-of-state hunt especially. We do it here too, but there you've got a limited amount of time, more so. And, we do alternate, a couple sits back and forth to give both of us opportunity.
Right. So one night I'll run a camera and you hunt, and the next night I run a camera and you hunt,
Well,
and the next night I run a
It's all
camera.
about me. No. No. So we have a good time in Illinois. We've known George for a lot of years, and we're happy he had us down. Enjoy this hunt.
Well, we're hunting in southern Illinois. It's my second sit. We set a different property this morning and didn't see anything but a couple raccoons. So the winds have switched. Sitting in a spot close to where we were art hunted, about 6-7 years ago. A lot of nice, bucks down here. Some nice 8-pointers, including a real heavy 8 that they said is down here. There's a real fresh scrape not too far up the road here to the north. We like that there's a little bit of wind. It's going to cover our sound a little bit, make sure our scent is blowing away and not just sitting here. Farmers combining corn to our south, so we're hoping that might help and kick some deer out of there tonight. But we're looking forward to this sit, seeing what we see. We can see a long ways. We'll keep an eye out, down the other directions too, in case we want to put a stand down there for for tomorrow or the next day. Stay tuned. Well, the night's not over quite yet. We probably have about a half hour. But we've been covered up with deer since about 4:30. Does and fawns. And bucks too. So it's been a good night. Let's see if anything else comes in.
My first night here in Illinois, and it's been a cluster today. We wanted to hang another stand and put in a blind. The tree we wanted our second stand set in didn't work. The blind didn't go where we needed it to, so we tried to brush that in. Hopefully, if we need that tomorrow, that'll work and the deer aren't all freaked out. There's a camera over it, so we'll know. We sat here last night with Michelle and saw quite a few deer, quite a few bucks. Actually already had a deer come out behind us, and we put Brown back into the woods, so hopefully they'll be on their feet and moving here shortly, and we'll be here, we'll be ready for them. So hopefully the night is going to be a lot better than what our day was today, so stay tuned, see what happens.
in Illinois. Could be my last sit. It warmed up. So the deer, we're still seeing some does and fawns. Not a lot of deer activity overall, though. It has slowed down with the warm up. But we put up this stand after we got here. We were sitting just a little to the south, and we were seeing a lot of deer crossing here from the field behind us into this area. So we came in here in a midday and moved a stand and set up a second so we could get up here closer to the action. And there's a big scrape here in front of us. It's probably the biggest scrape we saw walking in. And of course there was a buck here this morning while we were sitting somewhere else. Figures. Don't know if he was a shooter or not, but I'd like to see him come in and get a closer look. So deer, we saw deer last night. It was warm last night too. Hoping we see that many deer or even a little better tonight. Let's see what happens.
Well, it's my last night here in Illinois for the first hunt. We're hopefully going to get back down here later on. Hopefully we don't need to. But as you can see, I don't even have my hat on yet. It's super lightweight clothes. It's 83 degrees out, end of October. These deer are moving after dark, just not getting a lot of daylight pictures. They just got the corn out today on the other side of this 40, so now that that's gone, corn's gone off the other side. There's only corn on this side along with the winter wheat, so hopefully those deer will come over to this side and give us something, give us a good night. So we're due for one. We're gonna let things settle down now and kind of hope for the best and hope these deer are on their feet even in this 80-degree weather. So wish us luck. That close. The door went out to the field, turned around and came back. She wouldn't walk back there. She could have pinwheeled her, but she didn't. She turned and walked straight away from me, never gave me a shot, so we'll see. Well, back down here in Illinois for late season. Even though it's late season, I think it's actually maybe a little warmer than what it was when we were down here earlier. It's, I think 41, 42 degrees, but deer are already moving. They're on food sources out behind us. There's a couple does out here way in. Unfortunately, we bumped a bunch of does that were bedded, but we know that there's a lot of deer in here. A lot of fresh scrapes coming in on this road. We've got one on the corner in front of us, and it rained last night, so hopefully these bucks will come in here and try to reopen these things up. We're freshening them up today. If they do, we're going to be here waiting, so winds are good for us. Now it's just a waiting game, so we're going to settle down here, quiet down, settle in, and see if we can't fill this late season tag.
different spot today. Been seeing a lot of deer in here. This was a gal in here that was hunting the other side of this chunk of land, and she was covered up in deer all the time. So based on the wind, we're not sitting where she normally sat, but kind of on the other end. We did bust out some doe and fawn coming in here. Got some deer quite a ways down the road here, so they're out already. We're gonna kind of settle in here. Hunt this still dark. Got some bad weather coming in with pretty heavy rainstorm, high winds tomorrow. So tomorrow's not looking good. So we're gonna hope for the best tonight and see if we can get it done. Well, we're in a new spot tonight. George is pretty excited about this spot. Deer been in this area, quite a bit of deer movement, and most importantly, the wind is right for this stand. And we so we're in a double ladder. Also opted to bring the crossbow tonight. That gives us the most flexibility if something's hanging out there just a little bit farther than what I can feel like I can shoot with my compound bow. I can reach out there and poke it. Doing a little bit of range finding here to kind of know where my range is going to be out there, and then we'll kind of settle in and see what shows up tonight.
This tip of the week is brought to you by Burnt Pit Barbecue, Rubs and Seasonings, veteran owned. Get out and grill. Well, this is why you check things. So, getting ready for our hunt here, opening night in Kentucky, and I grabbed my bow out of the case, and my stabilizer had actually been pushed in up tight against my cam, so I had to loosen that. Went and one of my sticks was actually out and it is loose, so I need to get my wrenches out again, tighten this up, get everything tight on this bow. Then I've got my arrows here for practice, and I'm gonna grab my target over here. I'm gonna go out behind the shed quick, range it 20-30 yards, and make sure that when that happened that something didn't happen to my sight too. But if I would have waited till tonight and pulled this out, I wouldn't have been able to shoot it because that was so loose, banging up against my cam, and also with the stabilizer, the front stabilizer, that's all messed up. So I need to get that fixed and shoot this in a few times and then get ready to get out in the woods. So always check your equipment when you get to where you're going.
Well, we're in Illinois. Today's the day that big weather system come in. We weren't sure we'd make it out at all today. We were hoping that the wind was going to hold off really until after dark. That was really what the forecast was showing, but it is blowing pretty good out here. We're in a blind, which kind of protects us from that, but also, helps control our scent a little bit. Hopefully the deer are going to move. We're just hoping that there's maybe a little bit of lull and the deer get up and moving. We're using the crossbow. We're gonna, only shoot things that are, closer than, what you'd normally shoot with a crossbow, just because of the wind. Make a good ethical shot and, be ethical for the animal and safe for us. That's our two goals being out here. So we're kind kind of hunkering down, and let's keep our fingers crossed. Yeah, I saw the tree though. He said the tree branch.
Well, this deer is locked up. It looks like it's not going to give me a shot, so I'm going to pass the crossbow over to Art and grab the camera.
He's gonna go down right there. That was crazy. So this buck just showed up out of nowhere, and I'm like, big buck. Michelle had the crossbow. We both have tags. Unfortunately, that buck would not move. It kept feeding, and it kept feeding back towards the way it came from, and it looked like it was going to leave and go back into the woods and disappear on us. And so she passed the crossbow over to me. First animal I've ever shot with a crossbow, and it is a stud. And we watched him just go down. Absolutely crazy. That was the coolest thing ever. So thank you, honey. I'm torn. I really am torn because I really wanted her to shoot this buck. One of the last days in the way our season's gone, we had to do something, and we did. We made it work, and it's just awesome. Thank you, honey. I love you. This was absolutely crazy. Yes. Sure. Yes. He is a good one. A lot of mass. I tell you what, it's been crazy. This whole year's been crazy. We just haven't been on it, and I've been trying to get Michelle on a deer so hard. And this deer, you know, we just come in here and all set up for her, and then as you saw, everything kind of went south. And once it went south, she got the crossbow to me, and we made what happened, you know, what had to happen happen. And what a way to finish out the year, finish out the season. Unbelievable. Man, I tell you what, that old Spitfire double cross out of a crossbow. First deer I've ever shot with a crossbow. Tonight we're set up for Michelle to shoot, especially out of these blinds that we're hunting out of. They don't have a lot of room, and we're in there because of the wind and the rain. And, you know, it just, it happened, and I'm glad it did. Shooting with a crossbow takes nothing away from this deer, man. This is just an absolute stud of a buck. I am extremely excited and happy for this deer, so thank you. Down here in southern Illinois, we're late season down here. Bullseye Outfitters, you know, I've known George forever. I think the second time I've been down here with him, and you know, these guys, you know, Jerry, they're hits farms, he sets things up, and I mean, you know, tell us about it, Jerry.
Well, Art, it's a pleasure, first of all, to have you down here.
Thank you.
Congratulations on an old warrior.
Southeastern Illinois, and we've been at this game here about 23 years, as George alluded to a while ago. And we've done the management to the highest level we're pretty well capable of doing. I think you can see the results of what we've done down here. But
It was a pleasure having you.
But
yeah,
thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.